Welcome to Gomer Games. I'm Gomer. We are going over the industry's DLC here in these short tips. We went over the farming industry, and then the ore industry, and then the oil. And the last video was covering the forestry. Now that we have all these products, plain timber and paper, metal, and all these petroleum, all these different products, plastic, animal products, flour, all this stuff floating around the city. And we can't export it all. I mean, it can all go out of the city and you make a profit on this. But another thing that you can do is once your city grows and you have the population and you have the workforce, you can build manufacturing for it and make even more money doing that. But before you do that, you have to have a place to store these products. And go into the industry tab and click over on the warehouse button. And these four right here is the one you want to look at. These are all workshop warehouses that you can download. They basically look like containers. They're pretty cool for shipping ports and stuff. So if you have the ability to download stuff, look into that. Container storage, large stack, and there's like a number of them that are lettered like 1A, 1B, that type of stuff, 1D, 4A, that type of stuff. But they're kind of cool. Check that out. But these, going back to the industry DLC here, these warehouses come with the DLC. And I'm going to lay all four of these down, and then we can talk about each one of them. Okay. Now this right here, I believe, is the first one on the list. This is a warehouse yard, and it's basically just a fenced-in yard. And what I would do is probably put plain timber there, or I don't know, maybe metal, something like that. You could put anything you want in there. So you can put petroleum in there, you can put plastics in there, glass in there, any of that type of stuff. But just depending on what it is, I mean, you can put anything you want in there. And this particular one will hold 100 tons, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. I mean, you'll fill it up pretty quick. There is a maintenance cost, like $64. Yeah, $64 a week. It employs 12 workers. You set this up and set it to fill. So none of your sawmills or your engineered plain timber mills, none of them will export anything until this warehouse is full. Once this warehouse is full, then it will go to some of it all of it will be exported after that. If you put it on balanced, it'll kind of export some of it and fill this up. It takes longer to fill up, but it will kind of fill it up. And then obviously empty is to empty it out. So even if none of your manufacturing buildings are using it fast enough, it'll still empty it out by exporting it, that type of stuff. Basically, all the rest of these are exactly the same way. This one here, let's see, that is a small warehouse, and that holds 250 tons. Exact same way, you just set what industry or what product you want in there. It doesn't matter, and works exactly the same. So medium warehouse holds 400 tons, 33 workers. Small warehouse is 19 workers. 33 workers for the medium, 400 tons. And then you go over here to this massive warehouse here, and that holds 750 tons, of whatever you check, and it employs 60 workers. And then obviously there's a maintenance cost on each one of these, $240 for that one. Looks like $160 for that one, and $128. I think this one was like, yeah, $64. So there is a maintenance cost for all those. Now that we have those, you'd want to put those probably close to your production, or maybe halfway in between, depending on how your city's laid out. Because obviously trucks are going to grab these items from your production facilities and then have to take them over to the warehouse. And then once they're stored, they're going to have to pick them up there and take them to the manufacturing plant to use them for whatever they're going to use them for. All right, so we're going to talk about these plants now. Unique factories. That's what they call them in the game. And there's quite a few of them. Do have one off the workshop here, but all the rest of these come with the Industries DLC. You have the furniture factory. You have the bakery, industry steel plant, household plastics factory, toy factory, printing press, lemonade. This is a big one. That right there. And then you have electronics factory, clothing, and this is another big one. Petroleum Refinery. Probably the biggest DLC or vanilla building in the whole game. I don't think there's another building that's bigger than that from the game itself. I think there's workshop buildings that are larger, but there's nothing else off the workshop. That is a large building there. And then there is the soft paper factory. Yeah, soft paper factory. And Carb Factory. And this is food. A sneaker factory. Modular homes. And the last one is the shipyard that we can't place over here. We have to place on the shore because it's a shipyard. So we'll place it over here on the shore so we can kind of take a look at it. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go through each one of these real quick. It won't take very long. Just so you can kind of get a feel for the way this works. Is now you're producing all these goods coming from all these industries, or some of the industries. Maybe you're exporting some of them or importing others. But because some maps don't have all the resources on there. There are maps that don't have oil or maps that don't have ore. Maybe there's maps with no farmland anywhere. So you can't produce those items, but you can import those items that you need, but you're producing others. So this right here is the furniture factory, and it requires planed timber and paper, and it produces furniture. And this slider here basically indicates how hard you want the factory to run. It obviously at 150% it uses more resources, but it produces more furniture, so you make more money. It tells you your production per unit per week, and the number of freight trucks it has to deliver your goods. And then it will export the goods, but they will also be consumed within your city too. So that keeps your citizens happy. This one here is the bakery, animal products, crops, and flour. That produces pastries. You have your steel plant, just need metal, and it produces steel products of different types. Have your household plastics. You've got petroleum and plastics, produce plastic products. Toy factory, paper, plain timber, and plastics, produces toys. Printing press, you have your paper and your plastic. I'm not quite. I guess they put a plastic film over maybe the covers or something. I don't know why you would need plastic for, but printed products. So I guess like over menus and stuff like that, they have plastic covers and stuff. So I guess they would include that in there. Here you have your electronics factory, which is plastics, glass, and metal. And then here is the clothing, which is animal products, crops, and plastics. And let's move on to the bigger factories here. You got the Carb Factory, which uses animal products, plastics, glass, and metal, produces cars. So you can actually produce cars in your city and export them out. You have the Modular Home Factory. It uses timber, plastics, glass, and metals. It produces house parts. I guess they come out of parts and you put them together. I guess technically, but and then you have your Petroleum Refinery with petroleum and plastics and metal. Those three gives you fuels, which I always thought petroleum was a fuel, but that's how it's set up. And then this one here is a soft paper factory, which crops paper, petroleum, and plastic, produces paper products. I'm not quite sure how that works, but this one here is a sneaker factory, crops paper, petroleum, and plastic, produces sneakers. And this one here is food factory. So you got animal products and flour, obviously, and then you have the paper and the plastic for packaging, of course, produces food products. So I think that pretty much covers it. I thought there was one more, like a lemonade factory or something like that. Did I miss that? I must have missed that one. Here it is. Or did I just skip it somewhere? Yeah, but I skipped it right here. Yeah, lemonade factory is crops and glass, produces lemonade, which to me that would be kind of crops and probably plastic or paper. I don't think you get much lemonade in glass, but whatever. But I think that pretty much covers the industry's DLC there. Remember, when you start leveling up in your production, and then moving on to warehousing, and then ultimately into producing these advanced products, you need to make sure you have a direct connection to the highway for your production area, and a good road system, or even a rail system connecting to cargo rail hubs between your production warehouse area over to your manufacturing area, and get the products from one side to the other there. But that pretty much covers it for the industries. If anybody has any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments. Any suggestions, leave those at that like button and hit that subscribe button. And we'll move on with the next video here. Thanks for your time. This is Gomer Games. Have a great day.